Today's video is very serious. There will be no funny intro. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Skyline6, where we're going to be building a cargo airport and working on our import and export goods. We're going to go up here right next to Captain Obvious Financial District, so that way we can use this last really large piece of land. Let's take a look at our import goods, and it looks like we're primarily importing mail, which is good, but I don't think we need to import any products, so I'd like to knock those almost completely out. I also want to work on exporting mostly finished products and not like oil or industry products. I want to do the unique goods. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to work on our cargo network. We're going to get our cargo on and our factories on. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out my airport area. We're going to, again, choose the area right across from Captain Obvious's financial district and name it the Morato Cargo Airport. I'm going to add the main cargo terminal, and then we're going to hook up the terminal to this interchange and make a traffic loop so that way we can get people from the freeway through the airport and back to the freeway in one nice circle.
And I wasn't as critical as I am now. Oh, I wish we could rewind and be younger when we thought this love would last longer. Only a time machine could save us now. I've had enough, yeah, I've had enough. Say you've had enough. We wanted love, but fools is not enough. Say you've had enough. Yeah, I gave it time and you really tried, but you're sick and tired, baby, so am I. I've had enough, yeah, I've had enough. Say you've had enough. I've had enough, say you've had enough. Yeah, I've had enough, say you've had enough. I've had enough, yeah, I've had enough. Say you've had enough. We wanted love, but fools is not enough. Say you've had enough. Yeah, I gave it time and you really tried, but you're sick and tired, baby, so am I. I've had enough, yeah, I've had enough. Say you've had enough. I've been working on myself. I really try my best to change, but sometimes even love fade.
Now that we're done building the interchange and the roadways, I want to go ahead and finish laying out the cargo airport. This is going to be a pretty simple cargo airport with just one runway, one taxiway, and about 4 to 5 cargo stands. We have a huge train network, and I don't imagine getting a lot of use from this, but I do still think that the export and import of goods can be much faster when using this cargo airport.
Whatever means nothing if we don't give it all we got. We can cry when it's over.
I definitely struggled trying to get these taxiways in, and I'm still not 100% sure I did it right. I have seen it function, so I'm not too worried. But there was just something about having to remember that airplanes have to arrive and depart from these gates, and all of these taxiways are one way, that I just struggled with. And this is just a portion of my struggle. So if my airport was this small and I struggled, I don't know how people make these big, gigantic, beautiful airports. I have to say, I'm so impressed by you.
We can cry when it's over. We can cry when it's over.
And I can't forget to put fencing around the airport. I don't want people just walking in and out, so we're gonna fence it up and make sure no one accidentally gets hit by planes. So next, near the cargo airport, we're going to place a cargo train terminal. I'm not using the one that comes with the airport DLC, the airport cargo train terminal, just because it draws a lot of traffic, and while I want people using my airport, I do not necessarily want traffic to be drawn here unnecessarily. So we're just going to put a plain cargo train terminal, and that'll help get goods to and from the airport into our cargo network more efficiently. And now I'm going to connect this cargo train terminal up with the rest of our cargo network in what can only be described as one of the worst interchanges known to man, but I don't know how to make train interchanges, and I feel like stacking a diverging diamond train interchange, just throwing words out there, would not have been good either. So I hope you enjoy the spaghetti, which is my train interchange. Finally, what this whole episode is about is unique factories. So up in this area, we're going to flatten it out and we're going to use the rest of the unique factories. Now, I really want to use as many of our own goods within our city as possible. This means not importing agricultural goods, not importing ore goods, oil, forestry, but instead being able to transport them from around our map to this location to complete what we're doing. That also means I want to put a lot of storage. So near every unique factory, I plan on putting the associated item. So in each warehouse, there will be a different item, and we're going to have one warehouse per factory. So that means if I have 6 factories that use paper, I'm gonna have 6 warehouses with paper. I know this seems like kind of a waste of money and a waste of time, but A, I think it'll fill out the area. B, I think it's more realistic, because if you have a company that owns these larger factories, they're not gonna wanna share their warehouses with other competing companies. So I think that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna build a road network, we're gonna keep moving cargo to this location, and we're going to decorate it up. So, sit back, I'm gonna pop in a little bit, but overall I think this is just like a build and chill 5th episode for me. So let's build and let's chill. Now, before you freak out at what you're about to see, I promise that this gets changed. I changed it a lot throughout the video, and I probably am only going to show it one time now and one time at the end. So, I am so sorry for the monstrosity that is about to occur. You may uncover your eyes now. The horror is over. So like I said, for each factory, we're going to have a multitude of warehouses. So this one, we're going to do animal products, and then we're going to do plastics, glass, and petroleum, I believe, is the last one. Or plastic, petroleum, one of those two. Plastics. And then we're going to continue this all the way through every single factory we do. It's going to look very boring, very monotonous, very cement and metal, but that's just part of what having a warehouse and industry district is a lot of the times. We are going to make sure to sprinkle in some parks, some trees if we can, just some things for the workers to do. But at the end of the day, it is going to be primarily a factory and warehouse district.
A whole lot better. A whole lot better. A whole lot better.
Now I did notice that we have a little bit of a traffic problem here at this intersection, so we're actually going to delete it and just make it a roundabout, because for some reason, when in doubt, make a roundabout. We're getting close to having the rest of our factories in, so let's continue on at our warehouses and finish out this area with some detailing.
A whole lot better. Done this before you fall. I won't catch you, don't know I'm stalling. Cause you love to have more crying. Calling be sweet, telling me you need me. But I'm from a city that's high school. I give them this anymore.
So, good news, bad news. Good news. This is where you begin to fix this god-awful intersection that I think everyone should shield their eyes from. Bad news, this is not going to be the final configuration and it's still quite ugly. Enjoy the ugliness, embrace the ugliness. Scene change. Let's go back and work more on the factories, because I don't want you to have to see that ugly intersection, and I believe there's only... Oh look! Did we use them all? We used them all! So now that we've finished with the factories and the warehouses, the rest of the space in this area is going to be taken up by a couple things. We're going to put in some landfills, we're going to put in some water tank storage or water reservoir storage, and we're going to put in a couple of the natural disaster, like flood response units. And I think I also might put in a couple office buildings from one of the content creator packs. That would, I think, would go really nice in this area. So we're gonna put those in, and then we're gonna detail. So I also put down a post-sorting facility, which started what I'm lovingly calling Post-Mageddon, which is where all of these post trucks started spawning, are going around the city delivering large amounts of mail, and it made our import of mail skyrocket. So we're gonna fix that later. But for now, happy Post-Mageddon? Or maybe not so happy Post-Mageddon. I was doing some detailing and looked over and realized that OBS was not recording. So I hope you enjoy the changes that were made to the detailing and to the roundabout all the way over here. So we're gonna get back to doing some stuff, more detailing, and then we're actually going to build a small community. Across from the cargo airport, we're going to build a small community. We are right on the edge of our tile limit, so I like to imagine that this community is left over from the old factory workers who used to work in Morato, and these are just more or less the holdouts. City Skylines specific, I am going to make it a schools out area so we do get some uneducated workers, because one of the issues you start running into the higher educated the workers in your city become, the harder it is to fill all of the open positions, because we do need workers who have studied trade. And I think that this community would be a great community of trade workers instead of, you know, people who've gone to college and just studied education and books. These people have worked hands-on and will make a great addition to the Morato workforce. So while we wait for a new district to populate, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some post offices around town. These post offices are going to work in conjunction with the post sorting facility and hopefully mediate that import and export of a ridiculous amount of mail. And that way our Sims can also send letters to one another or to people in other towns. So we're going to put some post offices all around Morato. So one of the things I noticed while I was laying down my post offices is that we have a lot of the warnings that say not enough raw materials. And I'm noticing that a lot of the raw materials are actually crops, but our warehouses are full, the storage facilities are full. And so what that's telling me is that we're not moving goods efficiently around town, and the AI can be a little dumb, but we're not moving it efficiently around town. So we want to make sure that the places that are requiring the crops or other raw materials have easy access to them. And so that's part of why I redid the train network a little bit. And what I'm actually going to do is I realized that our train network is a giant U. So it goes from the S'mores Entertainment District, which is where it comes in from the outside, up to the oil and ore industry that I believe CityZilla built, and then back. So you have to take that corridor to get goods around, and I want to stop that. So we're actually gonna make a nice oval. I can't really call it a circle, but a nice oval around the mountain, so that way cargo can go in a complete circle. And we're also going to build a small oil industry nearby the factories that we just built, because I noticed that our oil, we're producing some, but in my opinion, not enough, especially compared to crops. So we're gonna do that now. I also noticed this train traffic here, and I traced it back to certain cargo stations not having bypass routes or having bypass routes that are too short. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna audit our cargo stations to make sure that there is a bypass route that is long enough and makes sense for the trains to be able to pull in and get out of the way. I also noticed that this cargo station that I built has a traffic crossing each other, and I don't want that, so we're just gonna reverse the one-way here. Another thing that I noticed is this specific industry area only has one way in and one way out, and it's through this very, very crowded intersection. So I actually want to create a back way out so that these trucks can go directly to the train station. But I do not want to negate the fact that they have to come in and out of more or less a security checkpoint. So I am going to add a second toll road acting as like a gate, and we're just going to route the traffic the other way to spread it out and maybe loosen that intersection a little bit. There we go, that should spread out traffic a little bit and help that intersection. So over in the new oil industry area that I built, I'm going to be adding a cargo train station. This cargo train station is going to have 2 jobs. 1, it's going to move the oil into our cargo network, and 2, it's going to take a little bit of the load off of the other train station in this area. There is a farming district across the road, and I'm going to want to alleviate all of this traffic that you can see by putting in another cargo network. Finally, I noticed a lack of connectivity via roads in this area. There's only one way in and out across this highway and no ways connecting to it. So I'm actually going to connect the roads up in a better configuration that makes more sense for the amount of traffic that we now have in this area. The final thing I'm going to do before I check our import and export stats is I'm going to connect our U-shaped railroad to the S'mores district to create an oval. This will help goods get faster around the city and faster export as well, instead of having to go through one main corridor. So we're actually going to run it along the waterfront all the way to the S'mores entertainment district area, and we are going to then complete our cargo and factory and warehouse episode. All right, before we take a final look at our city, let's look at our connections. Our import is good. It's almost completely mail, and it's dropped since we put it in the post offices. About the same as where we started, but almost all mail and no other goods. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the export. It's not as good as I would have hoped. We're still exporting a lot of agricultural products, which stinks because we're in need of it all the way around. But I think the fact that we're not importing actually means that we're producing in excess. I figured what a better way to end the 5th round, until Shuka gets back. Our 5th round in Morato with a beautiful hot air balloon ride looking over the city. Our city has come so far, and it's kind of sad to think that this is my last turn. I just want to thank all of you guys for coming and hanging out with us on Sundays. We really enjoy each and every one of you. Even if you looked like these people, we would still appreciate you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, let us know, and make sure to join our Discord server, City of Friends, to get more updates on when our next episode is coming out by Shuka and when our finale live stream is going to be. We hope you all have a wonderful time, and from S'mores and I, have a great Sunday.